will be paying millions in a lawsuit to the state of Ohio. And in sports, 6 Ohio football players are named to all MAC teams. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Jack Green. Welcome to Newswatch. A local man who lost his mother in a fire on Rainbow Lake Road is speaking out. Marley Pinchak has more.
Walking through the halls of a hotel that feels more like a second home, with employees who share a special bond, never beginning to imagine losing one of their own.
My mama was my rock.
Kevin Brown holding on tight to his girlfriend Montana, sitting inches away from a photo of his mom Vicky, who he wishes more than anything to be with once again.
I carry around this cross because my mom got it for me, and I wake up to it every morning. It was hanging, but now it's been on my neck every morning, so I feel like I carry her every step I take.
Kevin says his mom Vicky was one of 5 loved ones who tragically passed away in a house fire. It happened on Thanksgiving morning along Rainbow Lake Road in Athens County, Ohio.
I still can't picture to it being real. It's still not real. It's there, but I can't say goodbye, you know, not to their face. That's what kills me.
Loved ones they'll forever cherish. Kevin, knowing every time he clocks in at this hotel, his mom is right there with him.
This is home of home. I mean, like I said, when I'm here, I feel her. I sense her in the bottom of these halls. I think of her. I don't even want to let her floors get dirty. I mean, because I know she'd kick my butt. She would, and she'd tell me not to let my funny go away. You know, she said I made her smile every day. If she was down, I'd say something just to make her laugh, and that's where I got to keep myself.
The family is fundraising to cover funeral costs. A chemical company is about to pay millions of dollars in a settlement with the state of Ohio. DuPont is going to settle for $110 million for a 2018 lawsuit over the release of carcinogen PFOAs. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine says this is a victory for all Ohioans, especially those living by the Parkersburg plant along the river. The money will be used to repair the environmental damage caused by DuPont. A Noble County defense attorney is now suspended for a year after playing a smelly prank. Jack Blacksley threw a Pringles can filled with his feces from his car window into the parking lot of the county's Crime Victim Advocacy Center. Blacksley has a history of defecating in Pringles cans and randomly throwing them from his car window as a prank. The Ohio Supreme Court released a statement saying that it has evidence on Blacksley targeting the center, stating he wanted to get a thrill from pranking victim advocates he had known for years. Though Blacksley denies he intentionally targeted the center, he has no prior record of attorney discipline. If you heard a loud boom and maybe felt your house rattle a little bit, that's the Air National Guard in action. Air Force fighters were flying over southeast Ohio practicing combat maneuvers, at times moving faster than the speed of sound, creating the sonic booms. The boom yesterday morning may have been particularly intense because of the cold weather. The Air National Guard's 180th Fighter Wing, which is based west of Toledo, routinely conducts practice missions in the airspace over southern Ohio. We are now joined by Isabel Isco. Now, Isabel, there was lake effect snow and snowstorms that have been going on in the Northeast and specifically in Cleveland. Will that impact us in any way?
Definitely going to be seeing not that kind of snow side. I know I'm from the Cleveland area. I saw some pictures.
Thank gosh.
Yes, but here in Athens, definitely not as intense as they were seeing in that Cleveland area. You could see Athens on that map does have a little snowflake on there. You might see a little flurry here and there, nothing really accumulating in our area, just a little bit of a a quick little flurry out there just to make it feel a little bit like Christmas and more like winter time here in Athens. That was taken at about 6 o'clock, and you can see now at 6:30 it has already dropped down to about 32 degrees here in Athens. That light snow continuing, and you can see that the barometer, that is our pressure, that high pressure is increasing, it's rising. We're definitely in we're in a dry little rut here, and it's definitely a dry cold here in Athens, Ohio. You can see over these last 24 hours, our temperatures have dipped even into those low teens. And yesterday we were feeling very cold, and today we're starting to get a little bit of a warm up here in Athens, reaching our high temperature today of 42 degrees. It'll definitely be getting back to those colder temperatures looking at tonight, and looking at tomorrow, we're still going to be in that dry kind of temperatures and feeling here in Athens. But looking at this system, we're definitely going to be looking at some rain here for this weekend. Definitely stick with me, and let's take it back to Jack.
Thanks, Isabel. Ohio is one step closer to closing a loophole when it comes to marital rape and sexual assault. The Ohio House passed a bipartisan bill to treat sexual assault and rape of a spouse the same as non-spousal rape. The bill will also give victims the ability to testify against their attacker. Ohio is one of 11 states with a marital rape loophole. There have been numerous attempts to eliminate it since the 1980s. The bill now heads to the Senate for another round of committee hearings. Supporters and opponents of a controversial bill testified before the Ohio House Higher Education Committee today. The current version of Senate Bill 83 bans most university diversity training and requires so-called intellectual diversity on specific issues. A provision preventing faculty members from going on strike was removed from the bill. Republicans say the bill will stem what they see as liberal bias in Ohio's public universities. But opponents say the bill hurts higher education in the state. Republican House Speaker Jason Stevens says the bill does not have the votes to pass the House and has no plans to push for its movement right now. Coming up after the break, a critical deadline is ahead in the war between Israel and Hamas. And how can AI technology help you shop this holiday season?
And we're definitely in this drying right now, but my forecast definitely has some rain and maybe even some snow looking into the next week, back when we're on Newswatch.
This is the PBS Video app. Install it on your phone, tablet, smart TV, or other streaming device, and use it to access more of the PBS shows you love. But if you're looking for even more shows to binge like this, or early access to shows like this, then look for this icon. That's the PBS Passport icon, and it means that video is part of PBS Passport. Passport is our way of saying thank you to our station members. Donate to your local PBS station today, and one of the member benefits you'll receive is PBS Passport, which offers extended access to a growing library of new and favorite PBS programs. You can support your station and your community by becoming a member today. Visit pbs.org/getpassport for details. Watch PBS Passport anytime on any screen, wherever you stream. It's your ticket to the best of PBS.
Coming soon, it's the latest from TJ Levinsky's My Music Gang, here on your public TV station.
A portrait of my love.
It's Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet with their music and memories told by their son David.
Could be the start of something.
Saturday at 8 on WOUB.
It's day 6 of the truce in the war between Israel and Hamas, and a critical deadline is at hand. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is heading to Israel as much of the world waits to see if there will be an end to the temporary truce, one that allowed for daily exchanges of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. Laura Geary has more as the families of those still in captivity wait to see if their loved ones will come home or renewed military strikes will begin in the hours ahead.
is going in a positive environment, and that is what led to the extension of this, hopefully to another extension.
Qatari negotiators say they're optimistic day 6 of the truce won't be the last. So far, dozens of Hamas-held hostages have been freed, mostly women and children. Scenes of joyful reunions held against a backdrop of rising fears for those still in Hamas control.
There's still many hostages that haven't been released and are not home with their loved ones.
Believed to be still held in Gaza are members of the Bibas family, which includes the youngest Israeli hostage, a 10-month-old boy, and his 4-year-old brother.
We don't even know if that family is even alive. I wake up and that's when my nightmare starts.
The Israel Defense Forces are assessing Hamas claims, made without evidence Wednesday, that the mother and 2 young sons were killed in an Israeli airstrike. The status of their father unknown. IDF forces were also on the move this week, their tanks rolling into a Palestinian refugee camp on the occupied West Bank Tuesday, conducting, they say, counterterrorism activities in the area. With the truce ever fragile, many hostage families say they continue to focus on 2 things: peace and freedom.
It gives us hope to see that this framework is working. We really hope to continue seeing people coming home to their loved ones where they belong.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Hamas says it handed over 2 female hostages who were dual Israeli-Russian citizens to the Red Cross in Gaza, following efforts from the Kremlin to negotiate their release, according to Hamas media. A Red Cross convoy did cross into Egypt via the Rafah crossing. The Israeli Defense Forces also announced that 2 Israeli hostages who were not part of Israel's hostage deal with Hamas were handed over to the Red Cross today, citing information provided by the medical group. It is not confirmed if these are the same Israeli-Russian hostages that Hamas media is reporting to have been released. A Marvel actor is headed to trial in New York City for assault and harassment charges. The trial stems from March 25th domestic dispute involving Jonathan Majors and his former girlfriend, Grace Jabari. Jabari claims that Majors struck her in the face with an open hand and put his hand on her neck. Majors pleaded not guilty to the charges and filed a counter-complaint in June, saying that he was assaulted by Jabari in the same incident. Jabari was arrested in October on assault charges as a result of the complaint.
Looking at temperatures now in Athens, we're currently looking at 32, and that temperature will just be dropping as the night goes on. Looking at temperatures tonight at about 26 as our overnight low. So definitely as we're starting to get into the night, if you have any plans that you have to head outside, definitely if you're bundling up, maybe put on an extra layer. It will be a dry cold also, so make sure, definitely need your chapstick, your lip balm out there, and it'll definitely be a colder night looking at tonight. Looking at these past 24 hours, you can see that this high pressure has been in our area and it's giving us that dry kind of feel in our area with that cold. There is a little bit of that snow in the northeast Ohio kind of leaving as the night goes on, but now we're in this high pressure, definitely keeping in our area. The only thing we have to worry about is this low pressure system that is building. Looking at tomorrow, we're going to be looking at a little bit of a warm up as we're going into this weekend. Tomorrow, that high of 53 and that low of 35, not quite reaching those freezing temperatures tomorrow, with those partly sunny skies staying in our area. Looking at 12 hours ahead, we're still not looking at any kind of precipitation, still dry. Looking at 24 hours ahead, that's whenever we're going to start seeing this low pressure system start to build, and it's definitely going to be looking even more starting to build. Looking at Friday morning, that low pressure system is kind of riding on this cold front, which is giving us these warmer temperatures before we get those colder temperatures again, and it is going to be giving us some rain looking at Friday. 48 hours ahead, looking at Friday about this time, that is whenever this is going to be at its peak for here in Ohio. But once we're looking at going into more of the weekend, it's definitely going to be kind of chilling out. We're going to be having those intense rain mostly Friday, and then looking at Saturday morning, we're going to be kind of in that clear. But then looking again into the rest of the week, we're going to have those chances of rain. So Friday, again, this low pressure system, and we're also seeing this system over Washington area going to be giving them some snow. So definitely most of the United States is going to be having some kind of some intense weather looking at our Friday. Looking at that 7-day outlook, Friday again, that 100% chance of showers, but then Saturday it's going to be coming out of our area, giving us those mostly cloudy skies, a little bit of a warm up before the consistent chance of showers starts. Looking at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, having just a little bit of that chance of showers throughout the rest of next week. Definitely going to be keeping out of those freezing temperatures for a while here until next Tuesday. So definitely going to be keeping up with those little bit of a warmer temperature than we are experiencing here these last couple of days. And it's going to be feeling a little bit nicer even if we are having those showers. Let's take it back to Jack.
Thanks, Isabel. You can now evaluate your shopping experience with the help of technology. Artificial intelligence can now help you buy the perfect presents for your loved ones. Gloria Pasmino has more on how AI is being used this high-tech holiday season.
Buying real gifts with the help of artificial intelligence.
We have this new Google AI-powered gifting tool.
As Lillian Rincon with Google Shopping explains, when buyers engage with Google's generative AI, they can discover items with just a few words.
I'm shopping for my 7-year-old daughter who's very picky, and she wants to be a scientist and inventor. And so I can actually query for exactly that.
Thomas Germain from Gizmodo says the more these AI tools learn, the better it is for the shopper's experience.
Right now, you kind of have to know what you're looking for. You need to know the name of the product or have a really accurate description. With these AI tools, the better that they get, the idea is ultimately they'll be able to help do the thinking for you.
But shoppers, beware. Experts say if you opt in,
it gives powerful corporations a lot more power. The power to make a prediction, the power to understand what is going to be the most effective bid in a transaction, what price you're willing to pay.
As for how some of those gifts get to you, AI is helping with that too.
In this holiday season, some customers will receive their packages that are picked, packed, or sorted by robots.
Peter Chen from Covarian explains that AI-powered robots can pump out around 3,000 packages an hour. Human hands, about 300 to 400. In New York, I'm Gloria Pasmino.
Economic growth in the U.S. grows stronger in the third quarter of the 2023 this year than estimated before. The Commerce Department says the gross domestic product rose by 5.2% from July through September. The data shows a faster economic growth rate than an initial estimate of below 5%. The U.S. economy is expected to grow at a slower rate in the final months of the year as pandemic savings decrease and interest rates remain at a 22-year high. Earlier today, former President Jimmy Carter was attending his wife Rosalind's funeral. The First Lady was married to her husband for 77 years. Carter is one of millions of older adults who have experienced the loss of a spouse. Mandy Gaither has more on how to provide emotional support for a surviving spouse.
Losing a loved one is never easy, but the loss of a longtime spouse can be especially hard.
Couples have oftentimes compensated for one another's deficits.
Geriatrician Amit Shah with Mayo Clinic says surviving spouses may have to take on new roles and responsibilities because of their loss. It can be especially overwhelming as they deal with grief, which can affect them not only emotionally, but physically as well.
There's a syndrome called broken heart syndrome, where you can actually see a person's heart function decline on an ultrasound or echocardiogram of their heart.
Shaw says asking how you can help fill in the gaps for things a partner used to do can help. Since there's no timeline for grief and everyone feels it differently, Shaw says to check in on a surviving spouse often and over time.
Don't give up on them. Remember them beyond that acute period, and really reach out.
Shaw says to help them grow around their grief by acknowledging things will never be the same and engage with them. Try to get them doing things they once enjoyed, like a hobby. He says never assume you know how they're feeling.
Because what if they are feeling relieved that death has finally come and suffering is over, and you're expecting them to be sad, and now you've made them feel badly about not being sad. So I think just open-ended, genuine care can never go wrong.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Coming up in sports, 6 Ohio football players have been named to all MAC teams. That story's still ahead. And for the latest from Newswatch, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Hi, I'm Rick Steves. Join me this holiday season for a colorful musical celebration of Christmas all across Europe. We'll explore festive markets, enjoy glorious local choirs, toast tasty holiday traditions with family and friends, and find some time to play in the snow. Along the way, we'll have some fun in the studio, sharing the latest tips about traveling smartly. It's my 2-hour holiday special, European Christmas.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
We have much to be grateful for.
Have you ever had that feeling you're exactly where you belong?
May we all keep the meaning of the season within our hearts.
Happy Christmas.
Stream classic Called Midwife specials with PBS Passport, leading up to an all-new holiday special on Christmas Day.
I'm Billie Jean King. Women's sports changed the whole world.
With your voice, you lead the way. The greatest mystery that Agatha Christie ever created was herself.
What do you suppose it's like falling down a rabbit hole?
We have much to be grateful for.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Hi, this is Marion Ross. Please join me and Gavin MacLeod in A Classic Christmas.
Jingle bell, rock.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Thursday at 9:30 on WOUB.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Maddie Kiefer. 6 Ohio football players received all MAC awards following their performance this season. On defense, linebackers Bryce Houston and Key Thompson were named to the first team All-MAC defense. Thompson and Houston combined for 214 tackles during the regular season. Defensive end Vonnie Watkins and defensive tackle Rayon Buell earned a spot on the third-team All-MAC list. As for the offense, quarterback Curtis Rourke was named second-team All-MAC. Rourke finished the regular season with 7,650 career passing yards. One of Rourke's go-to targets, wide receiver Sam Wiglis, was the only player from Ohio named first-team All-MAC for offense. Wiglis had 596 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns during the regular season. After finishing the regular season 9-3, Ohio now awaits its bowl game destination, which will be announced this Sunday. Also in awards, Ohio field hockey player Caitlin Whittle was named to the National Field Hockey Coaches Association First Team All-West region today. Whittle, a graduate student, scored a career-high 18 goals and 9 assists, adding up to 45 points this season. In the MAC, she led in goals, goals per game, assists, and points. She also ended 5th nationally in goals per game and 3rd in points per game. She was named the MAC Offensive Player of the Year and was selected for the All-MAC First Team. Throughout Whittle's career at Ohio, she scored 44 goals and had 14 assists. Ohio women's basketball is back in the convo tonight against Longwood. The Bobcats come into this game 2-2 following a win against Purdue University, Indianapolis last Sunday. The Lancers game, on the other hand, a blowout loss to Clemson, dropped them to 1-4 on the season. These two teams played each other last November, and Longwood won by 1 point after Janae Turner hit the game-winning shot with 6 seconds left on the clock.
You mentioned the bowl games. I mean, I remember last year they went to Arizona. Fingers crossed they go to the Bahamas, because I would love a little vacation. How about you? Where do you hope they land?
I mean, they had a great bowl game last year in Arizona, that game-winning catch. So anywhere is pretty awesome, I would say.
Yeah, wishing them all the luck. Thank you so much. Still ahead, Boomer ballet classes are taking over. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
In 1976, Neil Diamond took Sydney by storm.
Yes, she does, my mama. Caroline, oh, beautiful, right. Come on, baby, right.
Relive the experience with Neil Diamond. Thank you, Australia.
Thursday at 8 on WOUB.
This is for you.
You got grit, I can tell you never gonna quit. Never even for a split second. Counting all your blessings. You got personality like Christmas got his presents, and I like it. Yeah.
I always want to create something that's going to mean something.
That's fabulous. And I like it. Yeah.
Dare me to do something.
Don't stop, honey, gotta do your thing. I like it. Don't stop, honey, gotta do your thing.
I really want to show the world how beautiful our culture is.
There was more similarities than differences.
It makes us happy. It makes us feel good.
Yeah. So spread those golden wings, we're gonna shine like the stars. Got the
It is part of our unique story, all of us together.
This is our special time.
like it.
Salute!
Honey, gotta do your thing.
We're going intergalactic.
Don't stop, honey.
We're going to make memories.
I like it.
Finally tonight, it's called Boomer Ballet, and it's exactly what you think it is. Students 55 and older are getting together to learn ballet in classes that are becoming very popular in Minnesota. These students learn how to be intentional about each move they make, how to overcome first impression fears, and more. While standing in first position, moving on to the second, it's also about realizing the best position may be side by side with each other. Some things are never too late to learn. Now, Isabel, I mean, it's cold out.
Yeah.
So for those people who may have a dance class tonight or in the next couple days, what's the weather looking like?
Looking at that weather tonight, we're definitely going to be on that chilly side as we're heading to Boomer Ballet class. Looking at that light snow, you might see a little flurry here and there. Nothing too intense, just a quick little in and out for that snow. Looking at tonight, we're going to be definitely on that chilly side, so definitely bundle up with that overnight low of 26 and those mostly clear skies. Looking at tomorrow, we're going to definitely have a warm up with that temperature high of 53 and that temperature low of 35. Looking at Friday, that 100% chance of showers going into the rest of the week. We're going to have a little bit of a chance of showers throughout the week, so definitely stick back with us.
Thanks, Isabel. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Isabel Isco and Maddie Kiefer, I'm Jack Green. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great rest of your night.
Support comes from Explore Hocking Hills. Mind, body, and soul can revive, surrounded by the natural beauty of the Hocking Hills. Outdoor adventures, cabins, and family festivals await. Information and details at Explore Hocking.